All right. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we are all set. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and get started. So my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets, and it is March 17th, 2022. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. So obviously, big picture, we did have the Fed and the FOMC release. We had Jerome Powell providing press conference discussion and then Q&A shortly thereafter. But as always, we want to take a look at, did the market really do anything out of the ordinary, or was it within expectation? As always, I like to look at the expected move for the week. And in the SPX, I wanted to show that we did have a very slight breach on yesterday's session, with some of the early morning trade actually topping out around this expected move high of 43.49. And just to showcase here the type of trade we had yesterday, it was quite impactful. We had sort of that early morning rally, little bit of a pause. We waited for the information to come out. We obviously started to sell a bit before, and then we, of course, had the volatile sell into the release, and then the press conference providing a sort of V-bottom reversal as the market climbed back to its high of day, and of course to this expected move for the week. Now, a couple things driving this momentum. As always, volatility remains in focus, and on yesterday's session, we do have a confirmed downtrend in regards to the active volatility futures. So we have printed essentially a lower high and a lower low on our daily chart. And what's more important here is some of the term structure as we are looking across future contracts. What we're seeing is that currently, while this is a very mild contango, the term structure here has gone essentially flat. Most of these contracts are priced within about 25 cents of one another. Even as you move out in time, the entire curve has sort of flattened out. And what this looks like is when we look at our series graph here, and this is, our range here is only about $1. A lot of these contracts are showing, very mild skew from one another, very mild differences in price. You compare that to what things look like going into this meeting 2 days prior, we were still in the sort of throes of volatility, and the backwardation case was still very much on the table. That is, of course, sort of rectified itself over the past 2 sessions. So what this means is the S&P got a bit bullish yesterday. We did see a very clean and clear breakout. We have a daily higher low setup that broke its daily lower high. That's why this particular daily swing high was of relevance, to kind of see the market expand above this range. Additionally, we do have our secondary retracement line breakout. Now, we've been talking about this trend line for a while, its importance in regards to sell swings, and some of the changing posture on more recent activity. Essentially, the market was not necessarily in an uptrend, but the downtrend was starting to be questioned. We were seeing sell events that led to gap up opens. We also saw lack of follow through around our key support areas. And the market seemed to be a bit tired of some of the downside volatility, which often looks like another pattern, which is sort of a falling wedge scenario. Usually I'm not bringing up the actual support structure because falling wedges can break bearish, especially in a declining market. But it is indicative of lack of momentum and basically too many of the market participants on one side. So if you can get a breach in the opposite direction, it can be quite a powerful event. And that's why we've been focused on it so much. For one, market had already put up the signals that it was trying to break out prior to yesterday's meeting. But of course, yesterday providing that extra fuel and the catalyst for an expansion. Now, all that said, we're not out of the woods yet. There is a primary trend line on the S&P. It was marked by the double top that occurred back in early February. So if I take the absolute trend line from all-time high and the first connection point, this is our first real test of this trend line. It was established here, and now we are testing it. This is something that can be fadeable. At least on the intraday, we want to watch out for some sharper sell swings against this retracement line because, as we know, the market is still in a threatened bearish tone across other parts of the market. The NASDAQ is getting out of its bear market territory. That is, of course, coming off of a 20% decline. We will see how far this momentum goes. We'll be looking for bounce plays. We'll be looking for, in this case, another higher low to possibly be printed. But in the short term, this momentum has to continuously prove itself. Basically, day in and day out, we have to either be printing higher lows and at the very least, not be forming any sort of reversal signals in regards to new bearish activity or new short opportunities for the market. So we play it as far as it goes, and then we look for the counterplay, the one that's been working as of late, because we are still very much in medium-term downtrends. All that said, this is a break of the 20. This is a strong close of the 20. So what's been working so far is to short against this very, I'll call it the short-term trend line, the one that kind of carries the trend forward. And this is what we saw last year, the 20 and the 50 kind of working in tandem. You hold the 20, you move higher. You hold the 50 after losing the 20, you definitely move higher. You hold these key moving averages. You break, fear, uncertainty, you reclaim, expansion, very wild price action. It's the same idea on the opposite side of the fence. It's just a downtrend. So we want to watch out for the 20, which is no longer in play. Now we have the potential to move to the 50. We're just changing the direction of the trend, and we're using a scenario from last year that worked, something that continued to work. And once we get to the 50, we'll see what the response looks like. We'll see if that's going to provide another rejection, as we already know that the 50 and the 200 have crossed, the illustrious death cross of the market. And we will see what kind of play we have from there. Probably some wide ranges moving forward, but still keep in mind that the downtrend is intact for the time being. So we looked at volatility, we looked at the market, some things in play. Crude is having a bounce day. There is some relative news in regards to some company events in regards to this, but there's also this dynamic from a technical sense of an oversold bounce. Crude topped out. We've been discussing how crude had gone parabolic. Whenever things go parabolic, when they start to sell, they often give it all back. At the very least, where we are now in crude, from a technical sense, is the breakout point. So seeing the bounce here is not surprising. It is something playable as well, because we have a lot of energy names, of which that was one of the key areas of the market that sold yesterday. Let's take a look at our heat map just to get a sense of that. And to be honest, it really wasn't that weak. The market did sort of have all boats being lifted with the tide, but energy was a weaker portion of the market. It wasn't quite, leading in any sense. There's also some weakness in some of the defense contractors, more specifically Lockheed Martin, which did have some news regarding their F-35 purchasing from the Pentagon. So there are some names here we want to keep an eye on, because some are coming off of relative highs. They're overbought. It's the opposite side of the fence. You go too far too fast, you often put up reversal signals, and then you fade. 50, 61.8% of the move. This is typical behavior. This is normal sort of trade activity. But as always, whenever the markets do this type of behavior, we'll be looking for counterplay. We'll be looking for the bounce, not necessarily back to all-time high, but intraday, lots of volatility in between these ranges because the market's focused on these names. And we'll look at, real quickly, some of the other ones have pulled back to their 20, RTX as well, pulling back to the 20 and the 50. So these names are still in focus. You might want to be thinking about strategizing around these names. If you're thinking that the uptrend is going to continue, you probably are actually looking a bit bullish. It's a pullback scenario here, and all you're doing is saying this has a higher probability of making new swing highs compared to breaking its trend. And so far, so good. We're still holding trend. You're just obviously looking for that pullback buy to confirm the next wave of its move. So that's the idea behind these. The rest of the market, we'll kind of just look at some key ETFs here. Tech breaking the 20, strong breakout look. You can draw retracement lines as needed to see the type of conviction on this move. Discretionaries as well, similar scenario, similar chart. Communication, one of the weaker overall sectors, testing its 20, probably likely to come up and go a little bit higher. That's going to be the likes of, Facebook or Meta and Google. Very strong relative performance on the day. Some interesting play in the metals. This particular one is consolidative. And whenever we have consolidation after a strong upthrust, we want to be thinking a bit of a bearish flag scenario, a bullish flag scenario here. But just kind of keep this one on watch. This consolidation probably will last a bit longer before we see new highs. It's a bit of an overextension on the weekly, so the weekly might need to catch up a bit, and we are at some pretty strong resistance back in time. So this is something I'm not necessarily aggressive to get into, but looking at how far this drawdown occurs and just kind of monitoring the consolidation. Let's see, and then we have our industrials, strong upthrust to the 50, financials, which did see some strong activity prior to the meeting, actually with a gap up open and a gap and go scenario. Very powerful move. Provided some of the bullish activity in the morning, actually, because as we know, bonds have been selling off, rates have been rising. Yesterday was a counter move against that, so that's going to be worth keeping an eye on for some bounce play against the major downtrend. And that should be reflective in the TNX as well. So lots to review, lots to kind of go over, but there's plenty to focus on. Last but not least, I'll just kind of call out what occurred with some of the China stocks. And once again, I'm here to kind of pose some ideas along with discuss, what might not be worth considering anymore. This counter move in China related stocks is quite powerful. It's really hard to kind of showcase how strong it is until you look at a weekly. It's a massive engulfing candle. So this is FXI, large market caps. You can look at GXC. You can look at KWeb, whatever you want to look at. It's a big volume event. It's a big reversal at the lows. Is the downtrend over? Not sure. It's certainly a good sign. It's something to pay attention to because the market doing this behavior is trying to give us some information. One thing I will say is that the reversal that's set up here is what's classified as an island reversal. It's basically a massive move in the direction of the trend, usually a bit overextended in the short term. A reversal sign either in that area of the market, some minor sort of engulfing or just pin bar type structure. And then the following session, we have a gap area that the market does not close. It basically moves very strongly against. Some examples of this are things like Tesla, which had this island reversal back in time. This provided the all-time high for Tesla at this moment. And there's a really good historical one. If you look up island reversal, you'll probably see this one as the key example. I can get my chart to load. It's going to be Netflix. And I want to kind of point this out. It's a historical example back in time. Netflix was in an uptrend, long time, just massive bull run. And then we formed this structure here. Now, this structure didn't just go straight down. It actually got challenged once. It actually kind of made a secondary, all-time high attempt. And then the structure overall is sort of that M top or the double top reversal. But beforehand, look at the gaps in between these islands, these kind of isolated pivots. And what the market is showing here is that when we get into these ranges, the supply-demand imbalance is so high that when we lose it, the market sells off pretty quickly and pretty precipitously. Now, obviously, earnings followed suit, so that's up for interpretation, but it is a historical example. So what we can be looking for moving forward is not necessarily that these are going to be straight bulls from now on, but you might want to be looking for the higher low scenario. This is a massive reversal. All the bulls have to do is fade and profit take this move and then buy back and swing this high against the dominant downtrend. That's really all they have to do. And in order to confirm that, they have to hold this gap area. They basically need to hold it as support. So be on watch for that. It's going to be any China stock that you look at. They're all basically making the same posture. So whether this plays out, it's up for us to kind of figure out. I will say that this is a good place to start considering some selling premium strategies as we wait for a possible trend change. Important to note, the trend has not changed. No matter how high that move goes, the trend really hasn't changed until we start putting up the pullback and setting up the swing high moving forward. So very important sort of reaction yesterday. It was kind of the main focus for a lot of us as traders. And then obviously the Fed and FOMC press conference afterwards. So, all right. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and see what y'all have on deck for today. All my moving averages are simple trader, Abby. Slingshot and trap inventory long. That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, it's a big reversal sign. I mean, the structure of it though is the gaps. So you definitely want to be looking at the gaps that formed. Those gaps should never fill. They should always be on the chart for like months. And if they do fill, we know that more swing lows are definitely very likely. But that gap should never really be fully tested. So y'all are calling out Mulan. This is a stock that's been in play. It's a lower price name here. Looks like a breakout over 2. Not sure what this company does. Not sure what it's about. It's a breakout over 2. Looks like it's in play. Thoughts on gold? So I do like gold, not necessarily for the swing high. The reason being is gold got a bit too overextended on this move. I'm looking at like auto expected move. We were making some massive breaches here and the volatility widened out too much. When I see volatility get that wide, not only is consolidation likely, but it takes a while to kind of build up the energy again to get the market moving against the swing that was made, the swing high in this case. So whenever I see that, I am looking for some counterplay on bounces. I just can't target this high. It was too extreme, too parabolic. Usually the market will either test the support area before that, like actually make a new low, or what can happen is it just won't move. Like it'll hold support, but it won't be moving in any direction. So this right here looks oversold on the daily because we just made a swing high and it went parabolic. I'd look for the lower high. And what that means is on your weekly, you're going to be kind of playing a weekly bounce somewhere in this range, probably kind of seeing, you probably want to be a buyer somewhere around this range, and you're looking to kind of push back up into the low to maybe slightly above 2000 on gold futures. You can play it in GLD, you can play it in the minors. They're all set up the same. I think you just need to be cautious of how parabolic it got. It can go consolidative for a couple of months. And we've seen gold do this before. This isn't new to gold. So like an area of the market like this is here. This one was actually pretty steady, but the bounces here are nice. Like you want to catch the bounce, but you can't target this high. It hits your target and then it just goes flat for a while. So I'd be watching for that and kind of thinking about positioning. I just wouldn't go super bullish and super short term. What do you think FactPal said it would start reducing QE soon? Do it faster than pass? I think the market, for the most part, is prepared for that. It didn't really feel like too much of a surprise to the response of the market. Is it going to put some pressure? Yeah, I don't think the market's going to be as bullish as it was. But I also think that the bear market is still intact. So that kind of aligns with everything. So my thought is that we need to watch out for sell swings because we're still not out of the woods. With tomorrow being a witching day, what should we be looking for, expect, or know? Very little to nothing on witching days. There's going to be some rolling activity. You might see some stalled out price action in the SPY. But as a tradable event, there really isn't a well-defined strategy for quad days outside of pinning, option pinning. So for the SPY, for example, let's say we wanted to kind of see where some of the highest trade has been. Let's look at volume profile. I mentioned this yesterday, but 425 is a big liquidity zone for the S&P. We actually dipped into it before the bounce. So this kind of was like a value kind of play where we pull into value and then we expand from it. If the market fades over the next 2 days, I expect probably 430s to kind of be a pinned area. And if we go weak again, 425 because of VPOC. So you could play that. I need signals for that kind of play, like a bearish signal. And the only thing I have right now is a retracement line. So someone's asking for Oxy. I think with crude up, oil stocks should be in focus today. Probably a secondary watch, maybe not as powerful as they used to be, but definitely watch it because Oxy, as strong as it was, is giving very little back. So it's actually holding up quite well. And I think, at this point, I'm just kind of questioning what the structure looks like up here. It's kind of a channel. If I'm looking at highs and lows, it's kind of a rising channel, but it's after a really bullish move. That's almost a divergent signal. So if it breaks, at any point, I would expect a larger sell. usually what you want to see here is actually some profit taking and consolidative action in a bearish channel. A bullish channel is actually kind of odd, especially at the highs. So Oxy and then QQQ. Define a flush. Someone's asking, what does a QQQ look like today? We have to talk in relative terms here. The Qs are up 2 days in a row. So a flush, is that a 50% pullback? Because that to me is typically what we look for when we start to top out. So just kind of prepare for these scenarios. I drew this wrong. Flip it. There we go. So just look for those scenarios. No, I drew it wrong again. Well, anyway, look for the pullback. I mean, this move can get a little toppy. I mean, it was a pretty powerful move in the Qs. The question is, on an intraday basis, are you a bull or a bear up here? I'm kind of looking a bit bearish today, but I need the bears to step in on that retracement line. If they don't, we have a momentum that's hard to stop. I mean, the momentum in either direction is hard to stop on a dime. So the bears have to kind of give us the signal today because they lost yesterday. They lost the battle. So, all right, I think we're all set. My time's over. So as always, thank y'all. Have fun trading the rest of the week. We'll see y'all more on Monday, and we'll talk more then. Probably put together more of the slides and some of the historical data next week, and we'll kind of look and see what's next on the plate. So as always, trade safe, and stay tuned for pre-market prep.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. So, not sure if Norm will be joining us. I know he has some audio issues yesterday, so not sure if that has been figured out. But for the most part, we'll get started here, and let's take a look at some of the stuff we had in play yesterday. What an incredible market this has been, guys. Again, very, very exciting to say the least, right? So incredible day yesterday. Let's give a thumbs up over on YouTube for Jared for taking us this morning through engineering the markets, kind of give us an overview of what's happening, things to possibly look out for and to be aware of. So with that said, let's take a look at our watch list from yesterday, starting with, of course, the one and only Baba. I mean, this thing, guys, just incredible. Looking at the run yesterday, this one, and this will be representative of a lot of Chinese stocks yesterday, right? They all been beat up quite a bit with everything going on as far as overseas in regards to, the SEC is getting involved, regulatory stuff, and just kind of delisting, just all that stuff, just kind of pounding down all these Chinese tickers. Kind of saw a little bit of some light yesterday, and yesterday morning you could see here. Well, we woke up with a gap of 20% on Baba, guys, 20%, which is actually pretty decent. 20%, pretty decent, right on here. Um, Nice drop into the market open and then just recovers nicely and never looks back, guys. Look at this run here. We went from a 93 at that time highs of the day all the way to 105 before ending the day, about 105, 106 by the time of the close. We had the FOMC meeting in between here, and that also gave the markets and everything else a boost. I mean, it was just overall madness yesterday. That was Baba. Here's Apple. A rough start, not much going on in the morning, pretty choppy, and then we had the drop and then the takeoff here into the close. AMD as well. Some of these tech companies had some choppy periods during the meeting or so forth. This one here, actually, AMD was much better than Apple. You had a nice little pop here. Kind of went sideways a little bit. Then again, this drop followed by the overall push here towards the end of the day. So again, AMD giving you a lot of opportunities there as well. I believe the FOMC meeting was around this area, right around this time. Because I remember we were hearing it and saw the drop come in and then the recovery. So I think it was around that time, if I'm not mistaken. Here is Neo, guys. Neo again. I didn't look at Neo much. I didn't pay too much attention to what was going on here. But a lot of sideways action, as you can see here. Even though it was a Chinese ticker, didn't really get going. It was still gapped up pretty good, but didn't really get going until later parts of the day here in the almost towards the close. MU, on the other hand, what a beautiful pop on MU yesterday morning, guys. I mean, this thing just took off. I originally had taken it off my list and I put it back, but by the end of the watch list, I had this on deck, and look how beautiful that turnout was. Really took off nicely here. Didn't do much after that, though. You had the one initial move and just kind of went sideways here into kind of everybody's just kind of waiting around to see what the meetings were going to bring. Then you had the drop and then the continuation over here. Starbucks was another one that, again, had a little bit of a rough start here to get going, then just sold off on much better for the entire day almost on Starbucks. And here's American Airlines. Again, we didn't see much good activity on this one neither. You had one crazy pop here, but outside of that, there was nothing looked all that great when it came to that one there. So that was our watch list for yesterday, guys. Let's get to today's watch list, our gappers list already. Having a couple of things in the red and in the green. Not a crazy list like we saw the last couple of days, right? The swings are a little bit more calm this morning. Kind of waiting around to see what the SPY and the overall market is going to do. We had a great pop yesterday. Are we continuing that, or are we going to just come back down a little bit this morning? We'll have to see. But again, our gappers list this morning with some names that we've been watching over the last couple of days. And again, just it's Thursday today, so we'll see how this week, today and tomorrow, is going to end. Looking forward to that. And as I am doing all of this, we have our good buddy Peter joining us in. Don't worry, Peter, I will never switch on you like that.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you? How you doing?
I am great. A little surprised to be here, but happy. How are you, Carlos?
I'm always good, man. Even when I'm bad, I'm good. This is one of those things. I'm doing good, my friend. Good to have you. And thank you for the support and joining us this morning. Let's get into the overall market. I mean, I know you've been talking a lot about this in the chat later in the later parts of the afternoon. What's the latest and greatest on the SPY?
Well, obviously, like you sort of said, the news yesterday was all about the Fed announcement, not only with the release of the interest rates, but of course the live press conference that happened with Powell. That sort of dominated our afternoon. After you get days like that, often you get what we call an inside day, which means you get lower price movement at a little sort of less active momentum. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we had, there was two things happening yesterday. Don't forget, we had all the China stocks that moved like crazy because of a separate announcement coming out of China with them sort of releasing, easing some of the restrictions that they were having on their own companies, which, created a little bit of confidence in the market. So we'll see if we get any follow through on that. I don't honestly know whether we're going up or down because, like Baba that's on the screen here, for example, I think it was up 30% by the end of the day yesterday. So it would be
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
to see a little bit of a pullback. So we'll see what happens there. This morning, as Carlos was pointing out, we got a few things to look at. So really, I'm in a wait and see mode because I just don't know which direction we're going to go. If you look at the SPY overall, suddenly are we looking bullish again? Well, we've been so excited over the last few years. Every time there's a hint of positivity in the market, things tend to shoot up. So, I'm just going to wait and let the markets tell me what they're looking to do, and hopefully I'll be able to ride whatever trend we find.
Yep. I cannot agree with that anymore. I mean, it's going to be a interesting day how things are going to play out this morning. But yeah, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to see how we end this week after such a run the last 2 days here on the overall market. So, with that said, let's take a look here. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you had something to say. Let's take a look here on what's going on. Control A, Control X is going to get rid of that for us there on the watch list. And let's look at our gappers list this morning. And we have Indo leading the way here. And you guys know this is, I thought this was linked. Hold on, let me do it again. I thought we linked our trade ideas this morning.
Gotta link that every morning, eh?
Every day. It does save us a lot of time though. But yeah, it would be nice if it would stay, but it doesn't. Here it is. So Indo, guys. All right. So Indo today up 18%, 416,000 at the moment. So we know this is a low flow that's seen some good activity. I like the fact that they're holding here, and right, they didn't drop down from 25 back down to 5, so that's a good sign. Maybe there's a possible push here towards a higher price target. But overall, guys, I can't stress enough how risky this stock is. Be very, very careful. Sitting in the American Stock Exchange, which I'm really not a big fan of, and also careful with the spread. At the moment, the volume seems a little bit lighter than I would like to put on our low flow, but that can change, right? Only 460,000 at the moment. We'll put it on here. That could be the low flow for the day. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I would say, like Carlos is sort of suggesting, it's a risky one. So if you want to play the sector because you're interested in the movement of the oil sector, Oxy is probably your better option, right? It just moves a little more smoothly. It's a little more predictable. But if you like the volatility because of the opportunity it brings, then by all means, Indo could be your candidate here. But just be aware of what you're getting into.
Yep. 100%. Guys, I'm going to look at Oxy now that you mentioned it. Oxy's a good one. 900,000 right now, up 4.1. Again, just kind of going with the swings here. So we'll have that on deck there. Then we have HUSA as another one that's on the riskier side. This one, on the other hand, it's Indo actually, I think trades a little bit better than this one, to be honest. So again, I think I traded Indo once for a very short move. I have not traded HUSA. So be careful with both of these guys. Pick your choice on there, but just be extra cautious. Heading on down, we have DVN. DVN this morning is energy company, 3%. Again, I don't like the way this looks. It's just not enough volume. These energy companies are in play today, as you can see here, but for the most part, I'm not a big fan of that one. DG, what is this? Dollar General. Dollar General, what they have going on? What they have going on today?
Dollar General's one of its earnings, so they have mixed report. They just missed on revenue, just beat on earnings. I think where you were going with it is sort of my sentiment that you think it's going to be good. It sort of looks good, and then the market's open and it's terrible. I really don't like trading it.
Yeah, yep. It is exactly what I was going. I mean, there's some good. It looks like a good opportunity after the fact, but while you're in it, it's just a brutal stock to trade. So I'm not going to be adding it to my list, guys. It is definitely in play. We got some movement on it, and they had earnings this morning, which is usually when we see Dollar General. For the most part, if you look down here, their volume extremely light. Their spread horrible at times. Right now, you're seeing almost $1 plus. It's going to get better at the market open, but not by much, though. All right. DVN, we looked at already. GFI, and it's a gold ticker. Just not really interested in that one. HCM looks like probably a blocks trade. What is this? HUTCHMED China. What is this? Well, you know what? This is a no either way, so doesn't matter. Let's go over to our gapping down list this morning. We are looking at WRBY. This is down 14%, so that's pretty nice today. Their volume overall, just looking at the daily big picture, very light, guys. 3.6 million on their highest days. I do not like that. I like stuff to be, well in the highs, so we can try to get some good opportunities. And today we only have 226,000, which is not creating a good pre-market action. So nice drop early on. Pre-market earnings looks like, but that's not creating a great activity as of yet. So we'll come
Yeah,
back to that.
it
Mhm.
did have earnings this morning when they sort of missed their numbers, which is why we're seeing them at the top of the list. But again, you've got to try and trade it based on the price action. And I don't think I've ever seen this on our list before.
I don't think I have neither. WRB. Yeah, I don't think we have. This is Parker Warby Parker. I don't even.
Warby Parker, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't think we ever seen this stuff. Actually, yeah, we might have. How old is this company? Yeah, you know what? It's just got going in October, so you might have called it as an IPO, and that's about it.
Maybe.
We never seen make an appearance after that. So let's go ahead and move down, guys, to Becky. Here's Becky, guys. I know you guys like
Oh,
Becky. I'm gonna put Becky here. I will come back to that one. We'll put it here as a possible. I'm not a huge fan, as you guys know, but we'll come back to that one. XBEV this morning, we got a couple of EV companies here. We have NEO, we have Lee. I see XBEV. Was Futu no, Futu's not an EV company, right? I forget what Futu
No.
is.
No,
What are
they're not an EV company, but they tend to get caught up in all of the excitement.
yeah?
I don't even know what they do, to be
What,
honest.
what, what do they do? Yeah,
Financial
we make fun of the
capital
stock. We
markets
don't.
is where they sit. So I don't know if
Oh,
is it a holding company or a finance company? I don't even know what they do.
all right. Well, there's Futu. Let's go back to XBEV real quick. So, guys, a lot of EV companies in here. XBEV right now down 5.6. Not great value, but you got some. You got a nice little drop this morning. We'll put XBEV on deck. Billy here. What did Billy do yesterday? Well, kind of what everything did yesterday. So, kind of giving some back this morning after such a great run. And that's kind of my thing here. I think a lot of these. You said it best, Peter. I don't want to predict what's going to happen, but they have such an incredible run. I think some of that could have been very overextended. I'm probably going to be a little short biased this morning, looking at some of these companies, Baidu, Baba. It shouldn't be, but I will be just a tad. Here's Baba this morning, guys. I'm going to add this one on here. Baba has been, my favorite stock this month, I think. So we'll keep Baba on there. I'm going to skip through a few of these just to kind of get the ones that we like, and I'll take it to you guys to see if I missed something. You can throw it back out to me. Neo this morning, volume 2 million. Definitely watching that one today. Hopefully it trades better than it did yesterday at the market open. CCL this morning, guys. Travel company here. What did it do yesterday? Let's take a look here. It was very. It looks like very similar to the American Airlines. You had the initial run, kind of went flat for the most part, and then another pop here. Because at the end of the day, and Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, fuel prices, oil, gas, fuel, it's up. It's not down,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and I think it just keeps going up every time I put gas. It seems higher. So that's not helping these guys. I don't know. I don't care how much the market goes up. Their profit bottom line is not getting any better if that thing
No,
keeps
I
going
mean,
north.
they've got a very mixed scenario, right? Obviously, with things opening up again, bookings are at an all-time high. So that's got enthusiasm, but then you see rising prices significantly, and fuel prices affect the cruise line and airline industries quite heavily. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, we'll put CCL as a possible. I want to take a look at American Airlines. We have United here as well. We'll keep them on deck and just kind of see where this is going to go. In the before the market opens. So, all right, that's what I have, guys. I'm obviously going to add AMD. If Peter is on, we have to add AMD. That's just kind of like the rule. So AMD will
thanks
be
for
on
that.
here. And Peter, is there anything else you want to watch besides AMD this morning that you like so far?
I mean, you already have Oxy at the top of the list with not only just the general oil news. The news, of course. The other element of news, I should say, is that Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett increased their stake in it, and it alone has sort of brought them to all-time highs in their stock price. So people always get excited when Buffett's in something and in heavy. So I expect that potentially to have some effect on the stock. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll see what it brings. I'll probably watch Becky that you already have on there as well, because Brian's probably going to be watching it because he just likes saying it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see
Yeah,
what
he
happens
does.
with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Um,
Other than that, there's nothing else that I'm going to be watching other than the old standbys. Apple has been a constant on my list for the last couple of weeks because it always just seems to give some opportunity. You have to be patient on it and sort of mind your time. But if you are patient, it can provide some good moves.
I agree with that as well. Apple's a good one. Put it on deck here. Also, I'm going to remove some of these levels on Apple too. You have a lot of overlapping from the last 2 trading days. All right, guys, let's take it to our chat room. We will start with Dan. Becky, always interesting. Yep, I agree. JD, David from Connecticut is giving us JD here. Let's take a look at JD this morning. JD, another one that you can watch. I'm going to have Baba on deck. JD, we can put as a possible. That one also very good yesterday. I expect that's going to be fun to watch today as well. All down this morning, right? Baba, Neo, AMD, and Apple slightly down. The ones that had the bigger run are down a little bit higher, of course. Like Baba, this thing was up, I think 38, almost 40%. At one point, I think. And then those are taking the bigger hits, and then you have the AMDs and the Apples that they didn't go too crazy, but they're taking a smaller drop this morning. All right, so JD is good, guys. mRNA and Riot. Let's take a look at mRNA. mRNA. Let's see here. mRNA this morning. We are light on volume. Huge pop yesterday, but this one has another story behind it, right? Possible COVID and picking up over in China. So that's kind of been a little bit underlying news on this one, right, Peter? We've been talking about that one. And what's the other one?
Yep.
P? Is it PDD or PFE? I forgot. The PDD. No, PFE. Yeah, not as much as mRNA. mRNA seems to be the one to watch.
mRNA is they had the big news yesterday with Japan taking another 70 million doses. So well, actually, it moved. If you look at yesterday's movement, it moved pretty well. So we might get some follow-on. I find it hard. The spread's usually high on that on mRNA. It can be a tough one to trade. So personally, I just generally avoid it.
Yeah, what a business to be in, right? That you have to, right? Can you think about sitting in this board? I mean, you've been in these executive meetings and you're sitting here in mRNA, you work for this company, and you're looking at, okay, cases are rising, we're going to make money, we're going to hit our target, let's do a profit analysis. I mean, that's got to be weird. That's got to be tough. It's not like you're, it's got to be just strange. All right, let's look at Riot, guys. I'm not going to add mRNA. Not for me today. I think we have better stuff this morning. Riot, no, I think it's pretty quiet, Fabio, for now. But I see what you're looking at. It's setting up here. Maybe not today, but it's setting up here. The problem is you need the overall market to help you out on Riot, right? You need the overall market as far as Bitcoin to get going. And if that happens today, this is set up to get going if that is going to take place. All right, heading on down here, we have, let's take a look. Facebook. Yes, Facebook. How did Facebook end? I keep forgetting to look at Facebook. They did have a nice run here, 192, 205. I'm gonna add Facebook as a possible. I don't think it's looking great pre-market and everything else, and they don't have their own catalyst at the moment, so just a possible for now on Facebook here. All right, we'll stop here, guys. I think we have a decent list. Let's take a look over on our YouTube chat. What do you guys have this morning? We'll start with, what do we have here? Julia, you're giving us Baba. Yeah, ready for one leg higher. Not sure. We'll see. But I know it's ready for something. I'll tell you that much. It's ready for something. It's got 1.3 million shares traded. It's down 3.6. Here, it can go either way. We'll have to see. PIK news on Disney. PIK. Never heard of these guys. Oh, look at that. Look at that. PIK taking off here. Up 78%.
Weren't they Kid Pick? No, that's not who I thought they were.
Yes.
They have a deal with Disney. Okay. All right. There you go. That's why.
That is definitely the low flow of the day. You got a big company like that you are small time, and you got a company like that on your back, and it's gonna create a little buzz. And we're seeing that right now, up 80%, almost 4.5 million shares traded, guys. This is a 5.5 million shares flow. So, which is just extra careful on the number of share size, or even trading this at all if you're going to trade this, right? Very, very low flow, a lot of volume running through this right now. We got a good catalyst, so this could be a good one for today. Just be mindful. All right, so thank you for that one. RH, we're looking at, it's IB. What's IB? Talking about IB, the broker? Yeah. Well, what do we have? AMD every day regardless. AMD, you know what? AMD is one of those stocks like Apple. Apple, I feel like you have to have tech, some kind of tech stock in your watch list, right? I'll give you an example yesterday. An example yesterday, right? You could have just put all Chinese stocks on your watch list. You know, Baba, Neo. Who do we have here? XBEF. I mean,
PDD,
it just
Billy.
you could have had your six entire list, or whatever you want, 645, could have been all Chinese stocks, Futu, and you could have done very well if you were long. Now I like to spread the love out a little bit, right? So for example, we have energy here, we have Baba. If JD, Baba, Futu, if this Chinese news are all gonna run, if I have Baba here, most likely it's gonna do the same thing. So I can already watch that sector there. I have Neo here, which obviously is good. It's the same thing as Baba, but we have it here as far as not companies, but Chinese related news. And I want to watch some AMD. I want to watch some tech stuff, right? You can watch a different AMD. You can watch like an Nvidia, right? You can watch an Apple. You can watch a MU was great yesterday. So you kind of want to have some. I like to have something different because if I'm all in one area and that area doesn't do well, then I miss out on the other stuff that's doing well, right? So that's the reason why we do that. But today, either way, you're right. We're having AMD on regardless if it's bad because Peter's on. So it doesn't really matter how it looks this morning. Robert, let's look at DKG for you here. DKG, I know we had news on it yesterday. When I said not yesterday, like the day before, they had something going on. March Madness. That's what it was. That's good
Yep.
news for them. Obviously, that was overlapped completely with what happened yesterday. It didn't matter about your March Madness. This thing, the market had its own thoughts for you. And today we're pretty quiet right now. Down 1.5. I mean, I don't know how much March Madness we have left here. Like we could have had a pop here. Let's say the market was flat yesterday. We could have possibly had a pop here for March Madness, maybe. But this kind of overshadowed that. So I don't know if there's anything left from March Madness. What's
They
your thoughts on
also
this?
uh, they also jumped on the bandwagon, had some news about NFTs that they
Hmm.
were releasing. So yeah, I mean, both of those combined caused yesterday's jump. But you're right, it's pretty flat today.
Yeah. And what's next? They're gonna get into EV and Bitcoin. I mean, what's next? Seems like every company tries to find something they want to get into that's hot, that's trending.
Yep.
Um, Oracle. Someone threw Oracle out. Neo Oracle. Let's take a look. Oracle. Wow. No, not today. Yeah, there's just no volume. And even when they are in play, very, very difficult company to trade. Daily on X, Franco, good to see you, my friend. Daily on X here. No, no, not today. I mean, it's too light of a volume right now compared to everything else we have here. They're daily. I see what you're looking at. Daily setting up nicely, but we need some time on this one too. As far as intraday trades right now, it's not set up to keep on our list. Wait for that one to hit the scanners, get some volume on there. Yeah, we looked at Billy earlier. I do like Billy. So I'm gonna put it as a secondary. I just didn't want to. I didn't add it on earlier because again, we're again heavy on all the Chinese stocks again, which is fine. But I would like to have something a little bit separate just in case we can find some opportunities here. Billy, so Billy's good. PDD, yeah, we looked at PDD. I have MR. Did we put mRNA there? I know mRNA probably looks the best out of all of these. Um, where is PDD? Well, no, PDD. What's going on with PDD? Let's look at that. You got 1.1 million shares traded. That's a lot of volume. Peter, we have any news on these guys? It's actually a lot of volume this morning. Sorry,
Uh,
someone mentioned that earlier today, and I did not finish my analysis on that.
let's
Uh,
see.
Something's definitely happening there.
Yeah, I just see the general China news, which is yeah, causing everything
Hmm.
to move, including PDD and, like we
Okay.
said, Baidu and the rest. But yeah, I don't see anything specific.
All right, we'll pull PDD. PDD is a hit or miss. It can do very well. It can be very choppy. But this volume pre-market down 4.3. Yeah, I like that. I like that today. All right, guys, we are going to stop here. Let's look at two more from our chat. Jan is giving us SQ and Michelle is giving us ACN. We'll look at those and then we'll head over to announcements. YQ this morning is no good for this morning, guys. This is pretty, yeah, it's just no volume. I had a decent day yesterday, I guess, but no volume. More on the penny stock side too, right? Hanging around below a dollar. You don't want to really be trading that, at least for the way I trade. ACN, oh man, no, guys. 14,000 shares traded here. Yeah, this is not gonna be. We've seen this before too. I think this is horrible trading stock for intraday trades. So yeah, we're gonna keep that off the list for now. CCL, we do have Eddie's. That's on the list right over here on our secondary. We'll come back and look at that before the market open. All right, let's head over to announcements. See what's coming up for. You know what? I know Norm's been traveling. I don't know if we updated this one yet. Let's do this. Let's go straight to our website. How about that? We'll go straight to our website. We'll pull it from there, Peter. So this way we can get the latest and greatest that is happening on our ships here. Oh, wrong thing. Excuse me. Come back over here. We'll do. Nope. Right over here, dashboard. All right, let's go here and let's get you guys the latest webinars coming up this morning, and we also have the latest promotion as well coming up this morning. All right, we'll start right over here, Peter.
Yes, and we'll have to say happy St. Paddy's Day to everybody out there. So welcome to the 17th. Top of the morning to everyone.
Top of the morning, looking good.
All right, and as we can see, if you go to our website, you can actually find the list of all our webinars and the courses that we put on. This week, as every week, we have a set list of activities that we have. Technology, Monday is usually technology and our intro for new members. Tuesday, we talk strategy and trade book, and Wednesday is always about psychology. Thursday, or today, is where we focus on mentorships. So we sort of try and group the activities, and everything's going every week in that form. So I'm forcing Carlos to jump around here. But last night we had a great webinar. So if you didn't have an opportunity to attend that, it is recorded and it will be posted, as always, to our education center for all of our elite members. Today, like I just mentioned, though, it's all about the mentorship. So we have 3 different mentorship sessions that happen today. 11 o'clock is Andrew in the webinar room. Again, for our elite members who want to sort of get some insight from him, ask open questions. He's there to sort of address any questions you have and provide his insight into markets and trading. Ed will be doing his afternoon mentorship. So that's right after the close at 4:30. Hopefully you'll join him in his chat room. So again, if you go to our chat room link, there's 2 links there, one for the main chat, one for Ed's room that we lovingly like to call the jungle. Ed's got a fantastic style that is very unique. It's well worth understanding what he does because he's extremely good at it and effective. So there's some good lessons to be taken from his mentorship that'll be happening right there. And then, of course, in the evening, we close out the day with Thor and his mentorship session, 8 o'clock again in the webinar room. So for all of our elite members, there's lots going on and lots of learning opportunities. I don't think we have a slide on it, but just a reminder, Fridays usually is Crypto Fridays. So I think we've got Jared this week who'll be doing his little session on that. That'll be during the day. If I recall, I believe it's at 11 o'clock on Friday. So again, for our elite members, something to look for there. As we've been telling you, if you haven't already, go to stocktradingsimulator.com. It's completely free. There is no obligation. We do ask you to just enter your information. That just avoids the bots and the spammers. But we will not market the heck out of you, we promise. But Andrew has built this free tool that will give you access to, a replay function in the market that you just don't have to pay for. You can load up multiple instances. You can sort of replay old stocks. If you want to sort of go back over yesterday, for example, and sort of replay, how could I have traded better, differently, or other options? This is your tool, and it's going to help you out. We also then post Eamon and Eamon puts up some recommendations of stocks you can look at. If you're not sure what to try, he'll give you some thoughts and some approaches you could take. So go to stocktradingsimulator.com.
And just a heads up, Peter, and the next one is we don't have the Valentine anymore. We have the
right. Well, I was going to say,
yeah.
Usually when we talk about our discounts now, I guess we don't have a St. Paddy's Day one going. We normally would.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, do we? We're just not up here yet?
Yep.
Do you know what the code is for that, Carlos?
I'm going to guess it's going to be green. Let's find out. I'm gonna have to get on the website. You know what? This right here, this is Norm's realm right there. So I check. He's one that does an amazing job updating this. But for there was somebody asking where's Norm over on YouTube. So Norm is actually in our headquarters over in Vancouver. with Mike. So that's what we're covering for him this week. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to go quickly into our website. I'm sure it's up on the main page, and there it is on the main page.
Apparently, it's lucky 50.
I was close, but not quite.
There you go. It's not Peter's awesome hat. All right, lucky 50. So if you want a discount code off our elite annual membership, you can use the code lucky50 for 50% off the elite. Again, that's the annual price. So you can use that and get a discount. If you just wanted to try us out, we always have that intro membership. It really just gives you sort of 1 week in the room. It doesn't give you access to all of our classes, but it's really about the chat room and the introduction class, which you do have access to, that Carlos leads, just to give you a feel for what is Bear Bull Traders about. Is it the place for you? Will you benefit from a membership? So hopefully you'll check us out and we'll see you in the room at some point. So if you're on YouTube, thank you so much. We're very happy that you're joining us there. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And with that, now's the time where we always go back and we'll set some levels for the day and get ourselves ready for the market open.
All right, thank you so much, Peter, for that. Guys, let's get to it. Our list right now, we have Oxy, we have Baba, we have Neo, AMD, Apple, and PDD. So not a bad list, not great. We've seen better for sure, but I think this will do for now, and then we'll see how the morning develops here. All right, we're starting with Oxy, guys. Great volume, getting a nice little pop here this morning. We are up 5% on this one. Let's get the daily chart to match up here. There we go, 5% up this morning. I love the daily. And Oxy can trade very, very clean, guys. Has amazing volume this morning. Towards the bottom, you got plenty of stuff going on here, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Doing a pretty good job setting up this base of support for you here. If you look at the daily bigger picture, you see they had the nice breakout here a couple of days ago. Then we had a little bit of a consolidation, and then the huge pop over to 56. And now here we're kind of holding this area, which is nice on the daily. Real nice this morning. So we know we have the potential to at least hit 58.75, 58, what we say, 58.91. We've done that a couple of times here. So you can see this has been in a great area of resistance, slightly above that 59.57. Right now, pre-market highs are being created, so I'm not going to mark them just yet. We'll come back to that. But if we are able to get to 56.48, that'll be nice, because that's going to be a level that can be confirmed even further by 3 trading days here. This one, 1, 2, and 3, right? They're all using that as resistance and some good support here as well, especially on this day here, because what this day is telling you, right? The story here is we opened up, we popped down, went up or shot down, but whatever it is, we found support here, right? So that's a good date there to kind of indicate, hey, there is some kind of support there at 56.48 that can now become resistance. So I like that there. Let's see where the pre-market high is going to set up. Here is Baba this morning, guys. We are definitely watching this one closely because it has been just so wonderful to trade. 161 is the low of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, you do have a couple of levels here. They're not great because, again, we've been running quite a bit here and haven't really set up like we did here, for example, where we took the time to make sure this 105 was a level of support or resistance right on there. You can see how well that's playing out. Again, is it coincidence we ran all the way up to 105 yesterday, where we've seen some good support in the past? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But I doubt it. I think we're looking at these daily levels to kind of find some confirmation where we can get in and out of on some of these trades. 109.10, another decent level here, but this 105 is a great one. That is also your high of your pre-market this morning. So Baba looking good. Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. We had this incredible pop. And then in between, you can actually go into this in yesterday's intraday action, and you're going to see a lot of areas of support and resistance. You can get some levels off of that. I'm going to take this level off here around 95. Again, that's a big drop. I don't think we'll get there. We'll need an aggressive pullback to do so. But the way this market's been trading, the way Bob has been trading, anything is possible there. Here's Neo. We're going to remove some of the levels we have. Volume continues to run here, guys. 2.3 now on Neo. I mean, this thing is definitely pushing some weight around. 1792 is the low of the pre-market, 1794 to be exact. Towards the top here, we have 1918, high of the pre-market. And then towards the bottom, you're good, right? Bottom, you're good. Highs and lows, last 2 trading days, doing a nice little support area there for you. Now, if you're looking above the previous day close and above the pre-market high over at 19 13. You have a nice level over around 2020. This one here is showing a little bit of resistance on a couple of days there that can do very well this morning. So we'll see great volume right now. Not really moving up or down. We had to drop down to 2.3 here, or even actually lower, right? Probably 3%. And then here we're just kind of hanging out here right now, just kind of figuring out what's next. But for the most part, great volume, guys. 2.3 this morning, looking good right now. Here's AMD. AMD dropping a little bit here, losing the low of the pre-market. This is interesting. I'm going to mark this level either way. We might be losing this though. 112.92 at the moment, but getting a little bit of some movement here, so that's good. 565,000 at the moment. Towards the bottom, plenty of stuff, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days down there. Towards the top, if we were to go back into the green this morning, we're looking at a good level over at 119, right? 119. Then we also have this one here at 124, and we know how great this some of these levels have been on AMD, especially this 100 level here, slightly above, or like 101. How great that level has been on AMD as well. So let's see, looking good right now, getting some good activity. Volume starting to come in nicely here. You can see the volume coming in a little more steady now. Let's see how that is going to continue to build there. Definitely like AMD this morning. Apple, for the most part, almost 1 million shares traded. Very similar to AMD's action as well. Low of the pre-market, 58.21. Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. That's good. So we'll be looking here above the previous day close. And I think this level here is real nice. Couple of days is bouncing off of that 162.03. You can see that very clear there. Towards the top, you got a couple of areas here, so nothing really defined as an exact price, but an area 165. We'll take 165 as the number. This overall area here, you can see a lot of days opening, closing, and just slamming up against that 165. We'll keep this on here. This will be a hell of a run today. I don't expect that. I mean, we're going from 1, 2, 3 really wide body candles. I don't think we have the strength to do that on the overall market, but we will find out. We'll be here for it. That's for sure. PDD, guys, I like the volume on it. I'm not doing a whole lot right now, and this one could be a hit or miss. So it's definitely not the top one on my list. This one can get bumped really easily by anything else that that can look better than this one, right? So low of the pre-market, 39.90 for me. Towards the top, we're looking at the highs of the pre-market, 44 looks like. Yeah, 44, very close to the previous day. Actually, not really. A little further out than the previous day close, but very close to some highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Slightly above that. I don't see any great levels up here. This is not a great trading stock, by the way. The last couple of days seen a nice increase in volume. So this is what's got us definitely interested in this. Even before the pop, you start to see the increase right over here. So that's good for us. Outside of that, I don't see anything that looks great. This is why this is kind of like a hit or miss for us today, at least for me. 48.91 is probably the best level I see above this. If we were to break out from, if we were able to go green and break out from that 43.97. So that's what we have. We have Oxy, we have Baba this morning getting a little bit of bounce there. Neo, we have AMD. AMD looking good here. We have Apple and we have PDD. So again, I think we have a pretty decent list this morning. Let's take it over to our chat. All right, let's see what we got going on here, guys. Let's get our moderators lined up. As we are doing this over on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up. We like to be, we're at 554, 556. Wow, you guys, that is nice. Man,
it's the hat. It's got to be the hat.
It's the hat. Is that what it is?
It's got to be the hat.
You might be wearing that every day. We'll have to see.
It only works on one day a year, special occasion.
You might be wearing that every day. We must have some members that went over and hit the like. Is that what it was? Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. That's what had to happen because there's no other way. All right, but we appreciate that. But for those that are regularly on YouTube, if you still haven't done so, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very, very much. All right, let's look at our moderators lineup here. Let's see. Let's resize this over here, and we are gonna disable that and bring this over so you guys don't get the mirror effect. I gotta find a faster way of doing this, so we can save some critical air show time, right? As we're doing this. Yeah, I got to figure out how to.
I'm sure you'll figure it out as you always do. And one of the things I've been watching while you were doing that, especially setting levels, is we do have some announcements. There was jobless claims, building permits. excuse me, a manufacturing survey. All of that came out. I was expecting all of that at 8:30. Came out a little late. All of it was pretty much in line with expectations, so not a huge market impact. I mean, it's only when it's wildly off that you usually see that stuff start to swing the market.
Yeah, right. When people get shocked or don't expect something. Excellent. All right, guys, let's take a look here. Our list this morning, we have IPOs for today. Well, one SPAC. Is that the same one from yesterday? GDSTU looks like it.
You know, it's funny because I had it on my sheet here, but I thought I had announced something else. But yes, I think it's left over from yesterday that did not open, so we're still waiting for that to go.
Yep. And then today, I'll let you go over your list there and what you have.
Yeah, well, as always, AMD's top of the list. As I mentioned, Baba and Oxy are the two that I like to watch. We'll just see what they do. And then there's a bunch of things I'm going to keep an eye on as a secondary: Neo, Becky, and Apple. And then I put PIK on there because thanks to a member who mentioned it, it's a really low price, it's a low float, but it's moving well. So I'll just keep an eye on it. You never know. Maybe it'll do something that I feel is tradable.
Yeah, I agree. That is definitely the low flow of the day today. It's got great volume, up 89% now. We'll look at that in just a sec. All right, Thor, you're looking at the SPY, Baba, Oxy, and Apple. Dima is looking at PDD, Oxy, Baba, and Apple. Tiffany's looking at Oxy, Baba, and Apple. And Megan is looking at JD, LVS, Piton, and a secondary list, POTR, SQ, and POTR twice. So she likes that one very, very much this morning.
So nice. She put it twice.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes something looks so good, you put it on there twice. Absolutely. Right, 9:13. We're almost set up to go live here, guys, with Brian and Andrew in just a couple of minutes. We'll see if any more list comes in here. Okay, Jared's coming in with his list: Oxy, JD, and Apple. Secondary list. He also likes POTR quite a bit, and also PIK, which is the low flow. Let's take a look. Take a look at the low flow for today. Here's PIK, guys. So again, this one's up 90%, 9.7 million shares traded, and we all like this one today, guys. But again, cannot stress enough how cautious you need to be with this one and how careful you need to be with this ticker. So, all right, you guys did an amazing job with the likes today. I didn't even have to beg. I don't have to do anything. You guys had 934 likes. Thank you. Appreciate that very, 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 very much. Guys, over on YouTube, it is Thursday. We will see you again tomorrow. Remember, today's mentorship day, so we have all kinds of mentorship happening. Andrew at 11, Ed at 4:30, and Thor tonight at 8:30. So definitely take advantage of that. And for those that are not members, you can check us out by using Premarket 24. Take advantage of that code. And I think you don't get access to all those mentorships, but you might get access to a few that happen in the chat room throughout the day, since you will get access to both chat rooms. So definitely take advantage of that.
Actually, that's a good point. During the day, within the chat room itself, we have psychology sessions. Susan and Megan join us and give us their insight on the market. We cover everything from not only direct trading strategies, market overviews that Jared provides all the time. Megan comes on, provides sort of lifestyle tips, because trading is really, it's a full experience. It's not just, if you want to trade well, you got to think about your overall health, the way you approach the market. I mean, for instance, I'm going to be approaching the market cautiously today because I didn't sleep well last night. So, I know that has an effect. Even if I'm feeling great right now, I know that just has an effect. So you got to be aware of all of this stuff to most effectively trade every single day. So anyways, but all that stuff goes on in the room all the time. So join us. You'll be impressed with what you find.
Excellent. Guys, thank you very much. And thank you for the 1,000 plus likes today. That is definitely a record. We appreciate it very, very much. And thank you guys. Appreciate that. We will see you again tomorrow. Have an amazing. Go ahead.
Have we got some friendly bots or what's going on? I don't know what's happening.
But I think that's our members going over and hitting the like button.
I mean, we don't have that many people watching, so I don't know. I'll take it and I'll declare victory. So thank you for letting me join and be with you this morning. I appreciate it, and trade safe, everybody.
All right, take care, everyone. Have an amazing, amazing trade day. We'll see you guys later.